Isn't it funny how every YouTube video you see on your feed about AI right now is telling you to stop building AI automation agencies and move to some kind of AI consulting offer or AI transformation partner? I often wonder who's copying who, but nevertheless, we've been talking about this for the past 2 months. I've been telling you that these nice N8N workflows do not equate into business performance, even though they look super cool. And businesses right now found out. They tell you that I don't know what the hell am I doing with this technology. I've been burnt, and now what? What should we do next? In this video, I show you exactly how you can use a certain framework that I've borrowed from a multi-million dollar 13-month consultancy program I've been part of to actually build AI systems and transform businesses. Without further ado, let's jump into this video and I'm going to share the sauce with you. So, how to actually get world-class client results with AI. You've been hearing it and I've been hearing it. Everyone is pivoting and businesses behind closed doors are saying, "What the hell am I doing with this technology?" Because they promised me the moon, lead generation, sale conversions, and all these nice metrics, but all I see is workflows breaking down 24/7 that I don't know how to fix. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's in demand for the buyer and the seller and the clear path to pivot without the hype everyone is selling you on YouTube. Amazing workflows, download my rack system, join my email list, and so on. If you don't know who I am, my name is Adham Alkhaja. I've sent a couple of satellites into outer space, pursued my PhD in aerospace engineering. This becomes very important because I'm going to show you how I've borrowed the structure we use for space satellites for business transformation over here. And this is just an update. I'm running a workshop called From Manual to Magical, and it's exactly what I'm going to take them through these startups, showing them that workflows are no longer something you need, but you need more of a structure and how can you use AI in your business. We're going to cover three things in this video. Point number one is the truth about low code to no code tools. You spend time learning N8N, make.com. Use this, use that. Maybe you're just starting out and putting a couple of notes together, but there's something that disrupted it. That's point number one. And you need to know what the buyers are saying about this because I've tested out with my clients. One, I've tested out with other clients as well, and you're going to see how everything is moving. So point number two is how can you adapt it to your product and service in terms of this change in AI landscape and how can you navigate this AI landscape? And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing in terms of code development and co-creation. And point number three, I'm going to show you a demo about everything, the 2-year offer evolution. So I've evolved this offer over and over and over again based on market feedback, the iterations on onboarding client activation, because that's the most important point for getting results is the first 1 to 2 weeks of your onboarding and how you activate your clients. So yesterday I've onboarded a client and he told me that we have this 20 plus year digital marketing agency, but now we want to pivot into AI. I said, why do you want to pivot into AI if digital marketing agency is working good for you? He said, because SMEs have changed, the market has changed, there's much higher potential there, and I want to lead this industry or go into this space and build these automations and tools out. And this is exactly what I told him. I told him, look, we need to focus on client results because of this landscape, which I'm going to share with you. And 2 weeks ago, I shared this video saying that there's this massive hate within the market, and it came true, meaning that client results right now are more important than your fancy N8N workflow that's connected to Zapier, that's connected to Google Docs and Airtable just to do a lead enrichment thing that keeps on breaking. So the reason we are at this spot right now is because we have this big rise of AI agencies and AI consultants, and they're right now at that moment think that okay, we've took this too far. We had no clue what we were doing. We sold, we made money. We told people we're selling 243,000 AI automations online when we did nothing. Now trust is shattered within the marketplace. And this is the same scenario that people took us with dropshipping, Amazon FBA, cryptos, NFTs, SMMA, LGA, lead generation agencies, then those Apollo scraper people with Go High Level and connecting everything. And now we're at AI. And the 3 points I would make mention here that just summarizes this cycle is businesses want to save time because they have this pain point. They thought, okay, let's add AI employees and do something with AI because my competitor over there is using AI. I don't want to be left out. Two, these agencies were born who are most probably doing SMA and go high level stuff, and they just pivoted and said, okay, I'm going to do an AI automation agency and I'm going to sell them and speak to this pain and sell them these workflows that I'm going to show them works really well and title the YouTube video as 243,000 selling AI automation for free. This is my school community. And point number three, businesses got burned and took a step back and saying, what are we doing here? Like, how can we make this work for us. This is just a loss. Maybe this is just a hype thing. And here we are today, which is the landscape we are at. And I'm sure you've seen all of this. I'm going to tell you the truth about this because I've tested this out. It's not just theoretical stuff. Okay, I made it work for me. Let me just tell the world that this is good for them. But I actually gave it to my clients. I know where they got stuck. I know where it broke down and so on. This is like NA10 if you don't know, and this is make.com. And you can see the Google Trends as well. We have this big spirit over here in terms of interest in all these platforms over here. And the cycle repeats over and over again for every single industry. And you need to understand this is because these people know how to articulate the problems of others really well and have massive confidence in doing so when they have nothing in production ready, let's say, in the backend other than a demo that looks nice with a JSON file that you can download and import that most probably will break a couple of times with you when you give it heavy load. And all these YouTube videos work because of these 2 points, because they are marketers and not operators and business owners. And I want to give you the business owner perspective of everything. So it's pure marketing instead of actual results. And the problems after testing this with my clients, for my business, with my employees, and so on, is that point number one, these low code to no code tools such as NA10 and so on break often when they have heavy load. For example, in my case, I made this RAG system where I fed it 100 different documents in PDF format and different formats. I had this kind of logic. You're going to know this is a PDF, this is document, what it is exactly. And sometimes it gave me an error in terms of execution. It broke down because it took too much time. It timed out. It's like there are inherent things within the system that you need to understand that breaks, and there's sometimes bugs within the system that's inherent to the system itself that you may spend hours trying to fix, but that's the system how it works. For example, nested loops, go search about that. You're going to see a big question mark in terms of how to create those. Point number two, the clients, individuals and businesses, they are not as tech savvy as you think. We AI people right now think the world is ending, AGI is here, robots will take over, and we don't have any more time. But you need to understand that most people have no clue what cursor is. They have no clue what lovable dev is. They have no clue what N8N is. They're thinking, okay, I know there's AI, but how can I use AI? So they're not as tech savvy as you think. And to get them to work on these workflows or actually make it work for their own businesses, that's a big hurdle by itself. And most people just don't want to. And point number three is nobody will debug, nor AI is magical. And I'm going to explain this in a bit, but once you give them the workflows, it's going to break down 100%. Let's say someone agrees and a client says, okay, amazing, make for me this lead generation enrichment kind of thing, and I'm going to run it within my system. But if it breaks, they don't want to go into the nodes and start fixing it and so on. And a very, very important point, you most probably spend a lot of time doing the NA10 stuff. Maybe you told your clients, this is very important. You need to understand NA10 because this is the future and so on. But very recently, String came out saying that no longer do you need to go into the node system. Just type what you want, and we're going to create the workflow. What happened to the time you invested and thinking this is the ROI I need for because this the time I'm putting here, I'm debugging these workflows, these nodes, and so on, and I'm telling my clients and so on, just got disrupted with this. And what is the ROI do you think over there? How do they feel? Did I just waste my time learning a bunch of things? Why learn this when I can maybe in the future do a voice note? Maybe there's just a button that I click and it happens. So there's this kind of sentiment going around in terms of that sense. And when I share these things, of course, they're time based and time sensitive because the market goes through cycles, as with every technology. And right now, we're at this point of exactly what I'm telling you. So, what is the solution? So if the solution is not giving them the workflows, the solution is not giving them, let's say, how to's of building these N8N workflows and giving them the workflows itself or solving business problems, what is the solution? People want rigorous structure and system level thinking to break through the noise that the market has created and the shattered trust where failure does no longer be an option, and you just give them a structure, do this exactly, and this is how we're going to do things in terms of first, we're going to look at your business. We're going to look at how everything is working. We're going to see where we need to add AI and where we don't need to add AI. I made a video about this where I asked someone, do you actually need AI in what you've built? And then his answer off stage was, no, we don't need AI, but we're doing it just because of AI. And now it's showing. The problems are showing right now. Very, very important. So you need a rigorous structure and system level thinking that's less philosophical than a McKinsey presentation. and more executional and more practical than your average AI 19-year-old YouTuber that's telling you N8N is the best tool that ever existed. And that's why you need to learn it. So watch this 4-hour masterclass on how to use the nodes. And to be honest, AI disrupted me too. It's not just me telling you this is disrupting the market and so on. I'm invincible. Nobody can disrupt me. No, AI disrupted me too. And I was forced to go down this rabbit hole and explain all of this. And this is how everything came about, by the way. And fix the business I have because information and things that I was selling and I had within the business that I thought was a value add no longer matter to the market. And I'm going to show you proof of that with Chegg in a bit, but they no longer mattered within the market. I didn't find that much valuable. And that was the market whispering and saying, hey, I can chat GPT this information. There's no longer a secret funnel hack that you can give me. I can Claude this thing. I can ask any LLM for a worksheet and information no longer matters. You need to co develop with me and give me a structure. We come back to this point over here. And the proof is over here. So if you're old enough, you remember Chegg in 2021 at least, if you were in university or school, and how we became best friends with that student or that kid that had a Chegg subscription, just because we could post our homework questions and get answers over there. And sometimes people were doing it in exams. They were taking the picture of the exam during the exam, putting it on Chegg, paying this premium subscription. So some expert comes in and answers. So this was their website. I used the Wayback Machine, I think, that website to go back and see how it was. This was exactly. So you can see the keywords over here. So find solutions for your homework. A search bar. Everything is figure outable with textbook solutions, expert Q&A, video explanations, practice problems, learn step by step. And yesterday I entered their website. Imagine what happened. They have an AI agent over here. There's no wording about Q&A of this expert, but more of verified by experts, these solutions. And there's this AI agent where you ask it and you get the answers, quick step-by-step solution. So imagine how this has shifted and the pain that this has solved. The same is happening for every single industry. And I just want you to imagine with this scenario, and this is how I thought about it, what happened when AI came out behind closed doors with the management, with the founder team of Chegg. What were they discussing? What were they saying? They were saying like, are we disrupted? What should we do? Should we pivot to, and so on. So I believe that was a very interesting conversation. But just imagining that scenario just opens your eyes to a lot of things. So I made this video about this also 1 month ago. Stop selling information, start selling AI co-creation, and this is exactly me going to the details of how I've implemented within my business. So if you come from the coaching and consulting world, you most probably, and the high ticket world as well, you know Sam Ovens. And during that time when I was on his program, he had a video that was almost 4 to 5 hours long saying, this is how you're going to find out your niche. And this is how you're going to find out your market. And so, and this is how you're going to create your offer. Like each one of those 5 hours videos explaining to the detail of the detail. That's all over. And this is my point I'm trying to make. Information is now on ChatGPT, even Google does people don't go for information. They have this bar at the top that appears that Gemini is answering a question. Then you go into the links if you want. So the new way I'm trying to say is co-creation and co-development. And this is the landscape we are at right now. And this is the right exact point that I can talk to you about the Steve Jobs quotes where you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can connect it only backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. And this was the exact point for me when I saw this. I saw everything that's happening, the videos I created, the summary of that. I need to pivot my business as well. And this is how I connected the dots for myself, saying that amazing. So in the past, and this is from the news, by the way, this is not classified information. This is on the news saying in February 13, 2020, you can go search it out. There was a collaboration by the UAE and another company to build I just put this exactly over here because I wanted this point over here, code development. So to build a flight software for satellites to be co-developed, and the outcome of this is three highly qualified people at during this full duration, essentially telling you that okay, we're going to take a bunch of people, we're going to train them for 3 years and co-develop with them so they come out with this outcome. And this was a pure tech consulting offer and there was no done for you within it. And this clicked in my mind, saying that AI right now is at a similar stage this was. People want highly qualified people who are AI native, understand the systems, can do everything. They want that consultant, even though consultants have a bad name. And I don't want to label it that way, but they want this kind of consulting, no down for your offer. Help me figure things out and do things. So the best thing I could have done during the time when I was solving this problem for myself is said, let me dig deep into my classified notes, the notes I take during that time, that's like 5 years back, and see what did they do, because I never noticed these things at that time, because I was more of, okay, teach me this, I want to get this stuff, I want to get the knowledge so I can build better satellites, send them out to outer space and so on. But now that I think of it, I'm more interested of how did they manage the project? How many calls did we have? What did they provide us? Was it information? What was code development actually with them? This is a multi-million dollar project as well, and I was part of it. So I dug deep into my classified notes, and I looked at what did we do, what were the deliverables, what notes I had, how long this went on, what were the commitment, and all the management stuff. And I hate project management, to be honest, because it's super boring. It's so cool to create these AI tools and so on, but this is critical. And the point being that project management is the direction that's needed right now, and the structure, as I mentioned, the strategic thinking and so on, is needed before we get into the AI stuff. And it was the key to adapt with AI for me. And let me give you just a summary out of going through this and spending a lot of hours, to be honest, just going through all these documents to understand what happened there. First of all, with co-development, what they did with us was they had clear phases with validation gates, meaning that how do we know this phase started? How do we know this phase ended? And this was all space grade standard, NASA standard things. And then point number two was we're more of a partner here, and you're not here to passively consume. So you go do things, come, let's have this discussion, let's co-develop together and so on. It's kind of the done with you. If we're looking at the coaching, consulting, education space, not do it yourself, not done for you. It's kind of the middle part of done with you. So it was more of a partnership approach. They had professional templates at that time, but now I think with AI can do this better, where you can, for example, what I'm thinking for my business right now, and I'm going to explain it a bit over here, is that when someone comes on board, and this is an onboarding process, of course, there is an onboarding form that everyone tells people to fill, right? So, our onboarding form right now, let's make the onboarding call, which is 30 minutes to 45 minutes, strategic in terms of the question, where we take the transcript of that call and it fills out a multiple onboarding forms where we identify the stage you are in your business, and what you're missing, what we're going to do next, and so on, and just give you all those documents and give that wow effect from day number one. This is just an idea that couldn't have been possible during that time. Multiple touch points, async and sync, in real life and online as well. This is something I'm thinking of adding within my business as well. Market validation, not subjective approval. In terms of we go test this out and get feedback from the market and ship fast, and not just sit there and think, okay, this offer looks great, I'm giving them all the value in the world, this may work, and I think I can charge $10,000 for this and so on. So it's market validation. Let's do this together. Let's fail together. You go on a sales call, I'm going to be with you, I'm going to tell you what to say next time and so on. We can have a 15 minutes after the sale call. It's kind of, we're partners going through this, getting you to that stage to actually push this business and make it work. This was a space grade, by the way, but what I'm showing you is the business wise, and you can apply it to any niche, of course. So specific duration for every phase. And the final and most importantly important point that it was between the lines when I found this point, is that you can then, after making this full co-development thing work for your niche, you can have that blueprint and license it to other businesses. So just as I went down this rabbit hole, I went to Operation Revamp and I initiated it. And you can see in my school over here, I have a lot of drafts. So I got rid of a lot of things and just started adding these new sections where, okay, now let's remove all the philosophical stuff, let's remove all the information, let's straight go to action. Let's make a section for the onboarding, which is going to be on the 30-minute onboarding call, taking the transcript, giving the CSV file, creating a lovable front end form where they can upload that CSV file based on the AI agent output of the transcript. And then it's going to autofill that form. They're going to adjust it. They're going to click and they're going to see this nice reports that form up for them. This is your state right now. This is where we're headed. Like, make the getting the results undeniable, and it's going to come no matter what you do. And that's how you get world class results, which is a point of this video as well. So if we're going to summarize this in 4 points, one is apply the structure for clients, and this is what I'm doing right now. So if you're going to do co-development, start with doing it for your clients right now. It's thinking, okay, how can I remove all the information and start co-developing with them, more done with you, while not cutting down the time to value very short. And point number two is give them the exact how I applied so that they applied for the client. So this is what I'm doing. But point number two, what you can do is then tell them, okay, this is how I applied it for you guys. Now take this methodology, like you gave them. It's kind of a meta thing. So take this methodology and apply it to your client as well. So you give them this double kind of value layer of co-development, and then give them the full structure in terms of this is a full framework. If you want to go do this for enterprises, this is how you can do it for enterprises. And this is exactly what I will run for governments or the organizations and enterprises. What I did in the past was more of workshops and this is how we're going to do things and so on, AI use cases, AI audits, and so on. But now we're going to get into the code development where we're going to develop, educate, and teach you how to actually build this AI system and integrate it within your big businesses. Because, of course, big organizations don't have go high level. They don't have, let's say, these softwares that small businesses use so you can integrate and plug it in quickly. And this is exactly what I'm doing. So it's threefold. Point number one is give them a structure to co-develop and a structure to follow as well. Two, give them permission to actually do the things, which is the transcripts and the onboarding and so on, and stop them from doing mistakes. These 3 points are exactly what capture the essence of code development and combine it with a systematic way of thinking. And that makes it impossible for clients to get the results, thinking about the onboarding process, thinking about what they're going to go through next, thinking about all the levels they're going to go through, cut down the information as much as possible. I know a lot of dinosaurs are out there with like filled 100+ hours of videos kind of content. People don't want that anymore. And like with satellites, when we send them to outer space, we can't just go back up there and fix it if something is wrong in terms of the software. We treat AI systems the same when you deploy it within a business, because if we think of it in a fail-safe manner, we're gonna reduce the amount of errors or failures that may exist and cut down revenue within a business, making the client mad and so on. That's how you scale your business. Look, since you made it this far into the video, let me give you a message from the heart. As entrepreneurs, we often start businesses because we have that drive within us that's telling us we're meant for more within this world. We have the certain outcome we want to achieve, whether it's financial, whether it's a status thing, whether it's freedom. We don't want anyone to control us. We don't want a boss and so on. So we go through this route of let's build a business on our own terms. And what I'm trying to tell you over here is that the landscape has changed. AI still remains the way, yes, even though trust is shattered, but you must bring structure. You must bring or become that person that delivers the best results in the marketplace. And of course, you can be that person if you play the game right, which is bringing the structure, as I mentioned, like giving them businesses and actually caring for the business in front of you. And you have a massive advantage if you've been doing this in the past to the newcomers that are just going to join the game, where you're going to see this LinkedIn bios change from consultant digital marketing agencies into AI consultants and so on. You have massive advantage if you just bring structure, give them permission, and actually care about your clients' results and make that top priority before your marketing, sales, and all these tactics you're going to use. That being said, I wish you all the best and go crush it.